Hello students, it's a very important video because we are going to discuss the inheritance and how the constructors are dealt with uh, in the inheritance program of Java. Okay, so here we have got two classes. One is the class name base and the other is the class name derived. And derived class is inheriting from the base class. That is the basic idea here. Purposely, I have given the names base to the base class or the parent class, and given name derived to the derived or the sub or the child class, so that you could relate with the concept properly. And let's see the details of the classes. Base class contains the data member X, which is of int type. It contains three member functions. One is the constructor with one integer type parameter. This function is there to input the data, which is void input. Void disp is there to display the data stored in the X. All right. Now we look at this derived uh, details here. Int type y variable is here. This is a constructor of the subclass or the derived class, which has the two parameters. So why two parameters? This I'll clarify just now, because this contains y integer, and base class also contains one integer that is named as x. All right, you can see here. So now, when I derived from the base class, so the value of x is also to be initialized. All right, through this constructor of the subclass or the child class. Is that clear? Then one very important thing, that I have kept the name input again here in the derived class, and how to deal with that I will clarify that also. These are the prominent areas which I am discussing right now. And void display function is there, which will display the data. All right, but here display is the name of the function in the derived class, and in the base class the function name is disp. All right, so here different names have been taken, but input is common name in both the classes. Now students, we start the coding. First the coding for the base class. So we just write class base here. All right, and then I have to input the data, so I create an object of the scanner class. So here we have a scanner, sc equal to new scanner, and then system dot in. All right, you can see here. And since we need a scanner class, so that's why we need util package also. So we write import java.util.asterisk semicolon. All right, after that I write the data member which was given in the base class, that is intx. After that we have a parameterized constructor, public base. Base is the name because the class name and the constructor name are same. And here one data member, one argument is there, int v. This v will be assigned to x. X is the data member of the base class. Again I am telling you. Then input function. So there is a message, enter x. X equal to sc.next int. So the data for x will be entered here. Now after that disp, this will display the data. So number is x, so the value of x will be displayed. Now this was the detail for the base class. So this is the closing of the base class function disp, and now this is the closing for the base class. Now we go for the derived class. This is the relation of inheritance which has been shown here with this arrow, upward arrow. Means derived belongs to the base class. All right, now we write class name derived here. Class derived. As I told you that it inherits from the base class, so for that we write students extends, extends, extends. All right, inherits from what? Base. So I've just written the class name. Never write extends class base, just write extends base. All right, after that students, we declare here scanner sc equal to new scanner system dot in for the input. Then I write the name of the data member of the derived class. That's very important. So it is int type, so int y semicolon, that is the declaration. After that we write the constructor for the derived class. So we have public derived, and two parameters are here, int v1 comma int v2. So now here this v1 will be sent through this super. Now this is the most important line of this program which I want to discuss. We don't write here x equal to v1. The constructor of the base class is never inherited. So we need to invoke the base class constructor. And to invoke the base class constructor, we always write the super keyword. Super and parenthesis obviously because it's a constructor. So super can always refer and is always refers to the base class. And since it's a parameterized constructor, so it is having v1 here. So this v1 which we have passed here, that will simply be there in this constructor. Alright, instead of v there, that will be the v1 or the value of v1, and that value will be assigned to x. So in the inheritance, this is the way of dealing with the constructor, that always call the constructor with using the keyword super. Alright, and if any parameter, then you pass. Okay, if there is default constructor, then you don't have to specify any parameter, just leave it empty, just write super parenthesis, that's it, semicolon. Okay, don't forget that. After that, students, y equal to v2. So definitely we have to initialize y with the value v2. After that, students, we have here public void input function. I told you that both the classes are having the input function, same function name. So I have to enter the data for the x first. So for that I need to call the function of the base class for the input. So there is input function. So how do we write the base class? How do we call the base class function? Again the keyword super. But this time there is no parenthesis because that was the function. But here super is not a function, it simply refers the base class, and using this you can call the base class function input, super dot input. Alright, and students, if I don't write super dot here, just write input. So input will, that simply means input is calling itself, that will become recursive. So never make this mistake. So for calling the base class method, if it is having the same name, just use keyword super. So super dot input. Is that clear to everyone? After that we have to enter the value for the y. So we write y equal to sc dot next int. The value of y will be entered. After that we have public void display display. So display function will call disp first because it has to display the value of x. So here students, disp function is given for the base class. You can see here, right, which is displaying the message number is, and then value of x will be displayed. So since the names are different, so there is no problem. Because of this, we don't have to write super.disp. We just write disp parenthesis semicolon. After that, system.out.println y is y. So the data of y will be displayed. So through disp, x will be displayed, and through y or this statement, y's value will be displayed. Alright. After that we go for the main function. So it is public static void main students, and in the public static void main we have the object of the derived class. So we always make the object of the derived class because derived class has already inherited what was there in the base class. So it's correct to make the object of the derived class and write the main function in the derived class. Derived ob equal to new derived, right? 5, 15 are the two values I am passing here, semicolon, and then ob dot input. So that way data will be entered for x and y, because input is already calling the input function of the base class, that is super dot input, that statement. Okay, then ob dot display, this will display the value of x and y, because display is already calling disp first, then it is displaying the value of y. I hope you are getting the clear idea of this now. Alright, so this was the program. We close the main function here, then we close the derived class, Now students, two very important things which I want you to always remember. Constructors are not inherited, and super keyword refers the base or the superclass. Right, so please practice this program, understand the concept properly. On the basis of these programs, you can do almost any program in the inheritance. Thanks everyone.